this last week I got to pee alone. Yeah, because, I was just complaining that we never get to pee alone, right? It was a Thursday morning, and I was at aisle 9 at Costco when I sneezed. Hot stream of pee just ran down my left leg. Felt so good.
We are Moms Unhinged, a nationally touring stand-up comedy show. Join us in our podcast as we explore everything from motherhood, midlife crisis, marriage, divorce, online dating, menopause, and other things that irritate us. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Moms Unhinged, the podcast. I'm your host, Andrea, and I am joined by the fantabulous, the amazing Alyce Chan, calling in from New York. Oh, I'm so excited to have you on the podcast. Thank you so much, Alyce, for being here.
Oh my gosh, thanks for having me, Andrea. It's been way too long since
I know. Seriously. I'm just excited to talk to you. It has been too long, and we've had the holidays, and we're already in the new year, and you've got shows coming up next week with Moms Unhinged that I'm so excited about too.
Me too.
Yeah. So you guys, if you don't know, you guys have to go check out Alyce's Instagram. She's got a ton of viral videos, hilarious little skits she does. I don't know if that's minimizing it. It's just so funny. So many funny takes on the truth of parenting. I love the one where you are getting robbed and you can't find, you're pulling everything out of your purse. The guy just leaves.
Well, I don't know. Like, I sometimes will leave the house without my wallet, but I'll have everything from dog poopy bags. Now that I have a dog, I have an extra child to worry about. I've got like toys from birthday parties from like 2 years ago and receipts, but not a wallet. I can't get robbed. Moms can't get robbed. That's my message.
It is. Like, I have a random bobby pin, even though I never use them, but I don't.
One time, you never know, right? So you keep all these random things because one day you'll need it. Like, one time we were like in the car and like, I think my husband needed a napkin because he spilled some coffee. And I was like, you're so lucky. I have these old napkins from my purse.
Crumpled up old napkins.
They're from restaurants. You know, when you go to a restaurant and it's not used, I pocket those.
I do too. I'm like, this is horrible to just throw this away. I'm like, I stuff them in my glove compartment. I've got a glove compartment full of napkins.
The angle, there's a napkin. I don't know if it's me, but there's a napkin.
Well, just last week at a show, it was too funny. Nancy Norton forgot her belt, and I pull out a big giant cord, a charging cord that she used for her belt.
How does she even forget? That's next level. How do you forget a belt when you're wearing pants? She was wearing pants, right?
Yeah. She would
have noticed rush. You got to the stage. That is classic. I love that.
I know. So good. Well, I want to talk today about, we were talking a little bit beforehand about, and you've got so many great jokes about this, about kind of what it's like to grow up in an intergenerational, you were talking about the trauma that you're trying to put a stop to. 'Cause you do have some great sketches on your mom as well that are so funny about how she expresses love. Yeah.
I have yet to mimic my dad, but my mom has never said I love you, and that's the fact. Like, my joke is she couldn't pronounce it, but she had different styles of love language, and that was just cooking. It was food, but it took me many years to realize that. And all my white friends, I can hear, like, I'll go to their house and I'll hear, I love you. I'm like, why don't I get that? Yeah. My dad never said it. He just gave me money all the time. So I became really rich, and I'm like, I don't need anyone to say I love you. I got a down payment on a car. So, but it took me a while to learn that different people have different ways to say love, especially immigrant parents.
Right.
Who really had to survive to come here to America.
Yeah.
And it's like a scarcity mindset. They don't have time to say love.
They're busy. They're working.
See, they just do it by action. And
Right.
it's a survival. You need two
Right.
things, money and food. And
Yeah.
that's what I got. And I'm here today and I survived. So well done, mom and dad. So opposite from them, I say it so much to my kids that
Yeah.
it's annoying now.
Yeah.
They're like, stop. And I'm like, but I love you so much. It's like almost creepy, like I'm a stalker.
Swinging the other way. They're going to never tell their kids I love you because they're like, my mom said it too much.
It's generation.
Yeah, skip.
That's fine. That's my aim.
Yeah. Now, are your parents first generation immigrants?
They are both, they were both from China. My dad specifically in Hong Kong, but they spoke Cantonese. And so in our household, we only spoke Cantonese. And I was very ashamed of my language and I would try to mimic English. And my sister and I, she's 18 months older than I. And we would just be like just trying to mimic English because we were so ashamed speaking Cantonese. And now, like, I'm telling my kids, you have to learn Chinese. And so they're learning Mandarin on the computer once a week. They give me shit for it, but I'm like, no, you're going to want this one day when China rules the world. But it's always good to have multiple language. Like your brain just responds differently.
Right, for sure. And it can really lead to just different opportunities. You have it could be in business. It could be in all kinds of things as we become more global, nation. So it just, world, whatever. It feels like it's just all a good skill for so many reasons.
Like my little one and I, we can speak Cantonese. He understands it fully because the way I taught him was different from my first son. So now we can talk behind their backs. Like I can talk about my husband at the dinner table in front of him and they won't even know. Like now we're just like conversing in Cantonese is great. So it's a great way to like talk behind people's back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bye.
That's hilarious. That's so funny. Now your boys are, how old what ages are your boys now?
They are 9 and the 11-year-old's turning 12 next week. And it's scary. And like, we want to keep them small. And I'm like, how do you stop time? You can't stop time, but I can't believe he's 12. Like,
yeah, it is a scary time because I think you just know what's coming for them. You know how hard middle school is.
Puberty, the girls, the heartbreaks, and then the pressure and the sports and the friend groups. There's so much more pressure. And it's kind of like, you're not really a kid anymore. I saw something on Instagram about like how boys or girls, how they learn to play sports. And at every age, it's different for them. Their perspective changes. At 8 years old, it's fun. Yeah. And at 10, they start looking at their parents' reactions. Am I making a mistake? Is there want more from me? This is too much pressure. It's totally a different, like, no pun intended, ball game from 8 to 12.
Yeah, there's so much more editing and like worry about shame and, just trying to fit in and all that stuff.
And it's also as a parent, like, I know how to parent when you're 3 or 4. You play with them, you give them naps and nourishing food. And now 12, I'm like, you have to know how to talk to them. And I don't know if I'm going to say something wrong or like, I don't want to shame them, like it's hard to unpack what my trauma is.
I know.
Be a good role model and also be a healthy parent.
Right. I know. I have a joke about I'm worried I'm going to get blamed for something I didn't even know I was doing wrong because our parents didn't know either. They didn't know, they didn't know that, they just weren't raised in a area that said, I love you as much, and that's what they did. So.
And did your parents say, I love you?
They didn't a lot. It was definitely, we got hugs. We got a lot of support. So that, for sure, I felt the love. I felt the support. They didn't come to, events or anything like that. Like they didn't watch us, but no one did. I was always like, Heather, what is your mom doing here? That's so weird.
Oh my gosh. Cause my dad and mom never came to my events.
Yeah.
But I saw a lot of parents the whole room was parents, but like, oh, my mom and dad aren't here.
Yeah.
But they're working.
Yeah.
But I remember I did feel a little hurt as a child.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It is if everyone's mom is there and, dad is there, whatever. And then that is like kind of like you notice the absence,
Right. Then you notice. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And now your mom and dad live near you?
So my dad passed in 2022, late 2022, and my mom is in Vancouver, Canada.
Okay.
He's like a 5.5 hour flight from here and a 3 hour zone. So there's like time zone difference.
Yeah.
And international borders. So it's quite a trek. Like when I plan to visit her, it has to be really planned out.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't know, when you become a parent, you actually need your mom and your dad more.
For sure.
You're like,
sure.
Help, I need advice. I just need like some like comfortable support group, that knows what they're doing.
Yeah. Sometimes you just need to vent and like, get it out and have someone listen and, that knows your history and your background and everything and knows it's hard. I know for sure. Well, I want to also ask like, when did you start stand-up comedy? How did you get into it? I love to ask our comedians that because it feels like so many journeys are different in that. And now, you're out there, you're doing so much comedy, you're traveling around. Tell us about how you got started.
I started in improv because I wanted to be an actor at first. And then I was like, when I was in New York, I was like in my late 20s. I'm like, no one's going to hire a late 20s Asian girl. There's no roles for us. So I was like, what's next? And people say I'm funny. Okay, I'll do improv. I did improv. I didn't really like it because I felt like I realized I was such an introvert and I had to really think before I could say something on stage. There were so many actors on stage that were ready to take the spotlight and I couldn't compete with that energy. So then someone told me, try stand up. I took I took courses at Caroline's when it was still at Times Square. I took another course at Comedy Cellar. And then after my first couple grad shows, I think I felt like, wow, like I felt empowered because I was able to turn some of the painful moments as a child into jokes that then made people laugh. And that felt like so empowering to me because I felt heard. And I think that's what I wanted. Like I wanted to feel that control. And I realized, oh my gosh, this is like free therapy. I'm Chinese, I'm cheap. I'm never going to pay for therapy. So then I started doing more, I would go do open mics and then I stopped when I was pregnant.
Yeah.
I felt different too when I was pregnant, doing open mics in front of like guys that were like in their 20s. They would give me looks like, that's not funny. I don't
get it. Oh,
like, we talk about like nuts and ball sacks. So I stopped doing it and I was like, maybe comedy's not for me. And I started just really focusing on motherhood. And I'm like, I'm going to try to be the perfect mom, to baby yoga. And it wasn't until 2016, my second was born. And I was feeling a void for a while. And I was kind of like in and out of depression, but I didn't know why.
Right.
And I figured it was that I wasn't fulfilled. And I was trying to do all these things like photography, anything in the creative field, but nothing would fulfill this void until 2016. I had my second baby and I dropped in an all women stand-up comedy show led by Kendra Cunningham. And I went up to her after the show and I was like, hi, I used to do comedy. And I was like, oh my God, that's so stupid. And she's like, great. When would you like to come on the show? And I couldn't believe that she would put me on her show.
Right.
And I did. After 2 months, she put me on a show. I bombed. And also I was talking about things that didn't really exist in my life anymore. I was talking about dating in New York City, living with a cat, mice in a New York apartment. That wasn't my life anymore.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I gotta change my content.
Yeah.
And so then I started talking about motherhood, but also I thought like, who wants to hear about motherhood? That's so boring. And I couldn't get on any shows, believe it or not. No, like no one would put me on their show. So I decided, Andrea, you know how to, obviously you're a queen of production. You can produce anything you want, right? So I was like, I'm going to produce a show for parents.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do it at 10:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And so I did I called it a BYOB, Bring Your Own Baby.
Uh-huh.
And that was for moms and dads who were on maternity and paternity leave, who could bring their newborns in a safe space, watch pro comics.
Yeah.
What are pro comics doing at 10:30 a.m. anyway?
Right. You're right. That's so
Daytime.
Perfect.
So I got all the
Perfect.
great comics.
Yeah. Parents can't stay out. Parents are dead at 7:30 or 8 p.m. They're like, no, we're not going out. We have to get a sitter. What?
Exactly. They have to pay for a sitter. They have to go out. They need to sleep, and they're
Yeah.
sleep.
Yeah.
So it was such a perfect concoction because the parents were happy to get adult time.
Yeah.
And the newborns didn't understand what we were saying. So we could like swear and tell dirty jokes. I was talking like shit about my husband while I was wearing my baby. It was great. And 45 minutes of kids were like, babies were tired. It was nap time. And the community start building. I started that in Greenpoint, and I know some of the moms that used to go there, and we've reconnected, and now our kids are like grown.
Yeah.
But, that's how it started.
Yeah.
And then I just, pandemic happened. Then I went on social media.
Yeah.
And then, from there, it just grew.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, social media is it's a free advertisement.
Yeah. Yeah.
Out there, and you just hope to get exposed.
Right. Right. But I love that so much that you like thought outside the box. You saw a hole and a need, and you fulfilled it with a show. And just what a perfect like blend of everything, serving the comedians, serving the moms, serving, just our need for community at the stage of our lives where, God, it's so isolating having a newborn. You're stuck in your house. You can't do anything. You're like, oh,
You're not talking to anybody.
no.
Just like all you're doing is like baby stuff, baby language, baby shows. But also like, that's why when I found out about Moms Unhinged, that's why I loved your show so much. I'm like, finally something for women, for moms, no matter what stage you're at.
Right.
Talk
Right.
about anything that mothers go through, and there's so much content.
Yeah.
And there's such a draw, like women flock to your shows.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love women going to groups with their friends, or like even date nights.
I know.
And so I mean, you're doing such an amazing job with Moms Unhinged, and it's always such a fun show. You always have different lineups and such different stories.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I love too, is that I really feel like there's something for everyone in these shows, because we're talking about all the different stages and, just remembering when it just felt like you were insane. You're like, am I crazy? What is happening here? So yeah, so good. I want to just circle back to a couple things you mentioned. First of all, I love that you put that show together and got that going. But I think it's so interesting. You mentioned a while ago about being an introvert with doing the improv. And I think that is such an interesting thing about stand-up comics that people don't even understand, is that a lot of stand-up comics are introverted. People think, oh, you're so extroverted, getting up there. You're so brave, getting up there. But it is really about being heard and like telling your story and, I mean, have you, like, people always ask, were you like super nervous getting up, doing stand up the first? Yeah.
Oh, every single show I'm nervous.
I know, me too. Me too. People ask, how do you get over it? I'm like, I don't.
No. Oh my gosh. I have to like pee 6 times. I need to know where the restroom is. I can't drink water right before a show. I can't eat before a show. And like, I'm always so relieved after a show. Like a break before, I'm like, why am I doing this again? Why do I put myself through that? I'm like in like
Panic.
Yeah, state of panic, and like nerves are just like all over. And I'm lucky I haven't even thrown up. Like, I don't eat.
Yeah.
Like, there's no chance I'm going to get sick and throw up right
Yeah.
before I go. But
Yeah.
but I keep doing it. I don't know why. I feel like one day I'm going to be tired of it, but until then, I'm like, I'm going to keep doing it. I don't know what's possessing me
Yeah.
to keep going on stage, but
Yeah.
I love it for now.
Yeah. And I love that you are able to bring that voice of, you know, the immigrant parents, the way you grew up, because I think so many of us assume that everyone had supportive parents or had, you know, or whatever, you know, it's just, we can all relate to some of those things where we just got hurt or were, you know, or all the struggles and
Yeah.
kind of.
But I'm surprised too. Like I didn't think some of my immigrant parent stuff would land, and a lot of people, even like you know the white folks like you, can resonate, and some like Latino, the Latino community, or like, oh, that was like my mom, that was my dad, or Italians, or like that's how we say love. It's about food, or Indian culture. Like there's
Yeah.
a lot of overlap, a lot of
Yeah.
similarities,
Right.
and it's really nice because I'm like,
Mhm.
wow, it's not just the Chinese.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so great.
Yeah.
Well, tell us about, the other thing I like to always ask is, tell us about kind of an unhinged moment that you had either, I mean, there's so many, right? As a parent or with your parents, what crazy story comes to mind that we can all probably relate to in some way or another?
Okay, I don't know if you can relate to this, but I am the most unproud of this moment. We lived in Brooklyn, and I was picking up my 3.5-year-old from pre-K, and I had the infant, or my second one, in the stroller, and we were coming back from school, and I said, "Did you eat all your lunch?" And my 3.5-year-old was like, no. I'm like, what? You didn't eat your lunch? And I remember I had a banana packed in there and it was all bruised. And I was so upset because now the banana's bruised. No one's going to eat it. It's like, what a waste. That's my Chinese scarcity mindset coming. And I woke up an extra 15 minutes early to pack your lunch, and none of it was eaten. So I was so mad. I took the lunchbox and I threw it on the ground next to the playground so everybody saw. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I don't know what I was doing, but I was enraged. And then I looked at my kid. I am not proud of this, Andrea, and I'm going to tell you this because I have apologized to my son as well. Disclaimer. I look at him and I go, pick it up. Oh my God. And I'm like, as I was saying, I was like, what the fuck am I doing? And I just said it because I was so mad. And then he goes and he picks up the banana and the lunchbox. And I'm still fuming. Then I'm mad because I got so mad. I let myself get so mad.
Right.
And then, it's so funny because last week we actually went back to Greenpoint to do a little reminiscing. We walked along the same park. And my 11-year-old's like, how come this park looks so much smaller now? I'm like, oh, because you got so much bigger.
Yeah.
And I was like, do you remember this part where I threw your lunchbox on the ground? And he goes, yes. I was like, you know, mommy is really sorry about that. Right? And he goes, yeah, I know. You've said it many times. I'm like, I'm so sorry. He remembers, but I think most importantly, he remembers that mommy feels like
I know.
shitbag for that, and that I have apologized
I
to him
know.
times.
Isn't it so funny how the rage, like, I just remember, like, I could literally see red. I never understood that saying until I had kids. And I was like, oh my God, I thought I was a calm person, but I am seeing red right now. That is hilarious. The banana is bruised. And, you know, bananas are 10 cents. It's so funny. We just don't.
Are they 10 cents? They're 10 cents in Larchmont. And yeah, they're 10 cents.
I know. It's so funny how we react to that. And it is probably like, you know, years of again, that scarcity that we were brought up with, like, you've got to eat your food, don't waste food, and it's funny sometimes I just love that.
But it also made me understand my mom's rage because she
Yeah.
used to hit us with like a bamboo stick.
Oh, wow.
It's like a dust feather,
Yeah.
but she used a stick and she would hit our butts and she would make us kneel. And I remember she was so angry. I don't know what we were doing, but she would yell at us. And I always thought she was like psychotic when I was little. And now I'm like, I get it. I get it. She had trouble in her marriage. She had to work. She was stressed out, had to make dinner.
Yeah.
My sister and I were fighting. Of course.
Yes.
Yeah. I totally get it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah. The fighting definitely would always get to me too. And it's funny. One time I was in the zoo parking lot and my son was 2 and he was having a tantrum and there was a line of cars waiting for my spot because it was really crowded at the zoo and he was arching his back doing one of those things. You couldn't get him in the car seat. He's 2 and I slapped him across the face. I was like, what did I just do? And he was so stunned that he just, stopped screaming and I was able to buckle, but then I have just felt terrible ever since. I was like, oh my God.
oh, Andrea, that's worse than my banana story. Thank you.
I know we do these things. We're rational people. We are rational, well-educated, we've gone through therapy sometimes, whatever or stand. It just is so crazy.
It's an indicator that we have too much on our plate.
Yeah.
We are not programmed to take on so much.
Yeah.
And
There's so much.
When moms react like that, it's not because of that banana or because your kid didn't want to go in the seat. It's too much on our plate and we have to take some off.
Yeah. And you've got, you're juggling so much. You're waking up, you're thinking 3 steps ahead to wake up early so that you can pack the lunch, so that you can get there on time, so that, all of that stuff. And then, sometimes you just snap.
Yeah. And that's like a big sign, like slow down.
Yeah.
We're not programmed to take on this much.
Yeah.
Motherhood back then wasn't a single person's job.
No. And it wasn't like we've got to do all the things. Like we went to the zoo. I remember going to the zoo like 3 times ever, now we're like taking the kids to the zoo every month or whatever.
We'll get memberships. Like,
yeah.
So you're going to the zoo. You don't need to go to the zoo.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Just go look at a raccoon. Birds are all over the sky. Look up.
I know. Oh my gosh. Oh, so crazy. So your boys are a little bit younger and obviously my boys, do they understand what you do? How do they feel? I mean, obviously they're in your skits sometimes. So how do they feel about what you do?
Oh, they just say it's cringe. That's all.
It's cringe.
Funny. Yeah. They don't get it. Like when they see something, they're like, I don't understand why people like this. It's not funny. There's no fart sounds. I'm like, I'm not adding, you're not my demographic. I'm not trying to target 11-year-olds.
You're not my demographic.
So just listen to us and you'll get more followers. I'm like, I don't need 11-year-old boys following me.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That is so funny.
And I'm like, I guess that's the way it is, right? We thought our parents were uncool. I'm uncool. That's fine. I'm not trying to have 11-year-olds come to my comedy show.
Yeah.
Have no money.
Yeah.
I'm targeting the moms who have money, okay?
Oh, that's so good. I love that so much. So I can't believe that half an hour goes by so quickly. So this has just been so much fun. Why don't you let our audience know where they can find you, where they can follow you? We'll have these links in the show notes too, but let us know.
Thank you. Yeah, you can. I'm always on Instagram. So MomCom NYC, and I'm doing some tours. I'm going to Chicago, LA, Seattle this year. Just have to plan out some dates. And of course, Moms Unhinged.
Yay. Yes. So fun. We've got your clips there too. So definitely just follow Alyce. She's hysterical unless you're an 11-year-old boy. Thank you so much, Alyce.
Thank you, Andrea. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening, and make sure you subscribe, share, and follow us on the socials to get more comedy clips.